can come to your spot, which wasn't geographically more than 5 to 7 minutes away, and come there and get closed. And it did help the business. It increased the exposure. There wasn't a fortune spent. A lot of times you go into these coffee shops and you see all these flyers. You can't afford to leave any stone unturned, right? Do you have a coffee shop? Okay, just curious. Because if you tell me, I'll come to it. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Okay. So does it make sense? Yeah, okay. I mean, let's think about it. How many ways do you have to go knock on doors? And how many doors do you have to knock on to get into people's lives? If the flyers appear, guess what it is? What is it? It's organic growth, isn't it? Or viral growth, right? Have you done it? How many have used flyers in their business? Okay. Okay, you have the... Oh, yeah, I just saw that driving by.
There's some coupon menus and cookies in the back for you.
Got some freebies back there from Lenny Slip Shop. Now, is that clever or what? She comes to a seminar and she promotes Lenny Slip Shop. You got to give her an atta girl. Come on.
It works.
It works. Whose cookies are those?
There's not 150, so...
All right. If you want a cookie, go. No, kidding. No, that works. See, but there's the power of advertising again. Okay. There is a psychology in trade shows and brochures that I'm going to share with you because I've done over 100 trade shows across the country for very, very large corporations. And we talked about the psychology of trade shows and brochures. There is a psychology that says the human mind and RIA process over, you've heard this in probably before, over 60,000 transactions in a day, like that. The mind can dissect, isolate different thought processes and move to those psychologically. So when I studied people in psychology, I studied the human reaction to visual effect. And the human reaction says that if you catch my interest for 3 seconds, do you remember, let me go back for a second. Do you remember for a little point in time there was these little flash words on the TV screen? Remember they snuck around and did that for a while? It was kind of like subliminal brainwashing. Buy Coke, buy Pepsi, right? You know, go to Lenny's, right? Okay. Well, that's, and I'm just teasing you. You know I'm teasing you. All right. That subliminal thing that you got was flash advertising because they knew they could engage your mind in less than 3 seconds and you would react to it. When you're walking down a trade show, you're walking down a supermarket, you're trying to give somebody something, you got 3 seconds to catch their attention. If you get them for 3 seconds, then you get them for 30 more. The minute you engage the mind will stop and will look at more. All right. If you look at more, you will spend at least 3 minutes. All right. So I'm walking down a trade show. I'm in Miami, Florida. I've got a 10 by 10 booth, and I need to look different than everybody else. I told this story at another seminar, so if you heard it before, Ann says she's heard it, so just go with it. You heard the story. All right. So I'm in this long-distance company, and I've got 1,200 buyers, and I've got 100 booths, and I said, what would make me different? So I called Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion, and I really did. And I talked to Playboy Enterprises and said, I'm in Miami on South Beach. Do you have any Playboy Playmates of the Year, past, present, future, that we could use? And how much is it to have them at my booth doing photo ops? Most of my constituency at the trade show were males, all right? So I found that there were 3 past Playmates of the Year. You could have them in the booth. They would sign your picture. You can't touch them. You got a little, escort with them. But you can't say, oh, let's take this funny picture of me holding this stick. They don't do stuff like that. You have to do real proper. It is above board. $500 for 4 hours each one. Actually, no, $750, sorry. So I said, how am I going to get people to get a picture with a Playmate of the Year, a past Playmate of the Year, with more males than women in a trade show? And what I did is I got 3 poster boards, life-size. So when you walked into the trade show, the very first thing you saw to the right were 3 6-foot pictures of Playmates of the Year, and a thing that said, come to booth 140 and get a picture with one of the Playboy Playmates of the Year. Do you know, I had a line around that booth. I mean, there were people just waiting to get pictures. I'm telling you, it really, really happened. I came away with over 30, 40 hot leads from that show, and people with much bigger booths giving golf balls and stuff and things. And I came away and I knocked them dead. And it only cost me, well, plus the booth cost. But it wasn't the $10,000 failure. This one was a success. And it was incredible. So what I did is I played upon the market. I studied my constituency, who's out there, who would buy from me. If you're not deciding who your typical buyer is and you're not profiling your buyer, then you're not in business and you're marketing. You've got to profile your business. You have a psychological profile of who's the typical buyer, be it not-for-profit, be it Lenny's Sub Shop, be it Al's got an organization. Talk to Al later. He does great marketing.